Ricochet files divorce. Samantha Irvin YouTube script. Ricochet's entire world just collapsed in the most devastating way possible, and the shocking footage of what he discovered Samantha Irvin doing will make you question everything you thought you knew about love, loyalty, and trust in the wrestling industry. What happened wasn't just a marriage ending, it was the complete destruction of one of WWE's most beloved couples through an act of betrayal so shocking that even hardened wrestling fans are struggling to process the emotional carnage. If you think wrestling relationships are just storylines created for entertainment, you're about to witness the devastating reality of what happens when real love gets destroyed by real betrayal in the most public and heartbreaking way imaginable. The legal documents that were filed today will forever change how we view both Ricochet and Samantha Irvin. I never thought Samantha was capable of this level of deception. Those weren't just words from a hurt husband, they were the agonized cry of a man whose entire understanding of his marriage, his wife, and his future had been obliterated by discovering the unthinkable truth about the woman he trusted with his heart. You want to talk about betrayals that destroy not just relationships but entire lives? What Samantha Irvin did behind Ricochet's back wasn't just cheating, it was a systematic pattern of deception and manipulation that makes every public appearance they've made together look like an elaborate lie designed to fool the wrestling world. The divorce papers that were filed in Los Angeles County Court this morning contain allegations so shocking and detailed that they read like a horror story of betrayal, financial manipulation, and emotional abuse that had been going on for months while fans celebrated their seemingly perfect relationship. The most heartbreaking aspect of this entire disaster is how completely blindsided Ricochet was by the discovery. Sources close to the couple report that he genuinely believed their marriage was strong and their future was bright, right up until the moment he caught Samantha in the act that destroyed everything. But what makes this betrayal absolutely unforgivable is how long Samantha had been living this double life while maintaining the public facade of being wrestling's perfect couple. Every social media post, every red carpet appearance, every interview where she talked about their love was part of an elaborate deception. Here's a question that's going to separate the naive fans from those who understand the reality of relationships. Did you notice any warning signs in Samantha's recent behavior that suggested she was capable of this level of betrayal? The investigation into what led to this divorce filing reveals a pattern of suspicious behavior that goes back at least 6 months. Phone records, financial transactions, and witness testimonies paint a picture of a woman living a completely different life than what she presented to her husband and the public. The most shocking evidence comes from private investigators that Ricochet hired after becoming suspicious of his wife's increasingly erratic schedule and secretive behavior. The surveillance footage they captured will make your stomach turn when you realize the depth of deception involved. But the smoking gun that sealed Samantha's fate was when she was caught red-handed engaging in activities that directly violated the trust and commitment that forms the foundation of any marriage. The evidence was so overwhelming that even her attempts at explanation and justification fell completely flat. I trusted her with everything, my heart, my finances, my future, and she repaid the trust by living a lie every single day we were together. Ricochet's statement to his attorneys reveals the complete emotional devastation of discovering that his entire marriage was built on deception. Quick question for the relationship experts: what kind of person can maintain such an elaborate facade of love and commitment while systematically betraying their spouse behind the scenes? The most devastating revelation from the divorce documents is that Samantha had been planning her exit strategy for months while continuing to play the role of loving wife. Bank account transfers, property arrangements, and legal consultations show calculated preparation for ending the marriage while keeping Ricochet completely in the dark. The financial implications of her deception are staggering. Court documents reveal that she had been secretly moving money, hiding assets, and making arrangements to maximize her settlement while minimizing Ricochet's ability to protect his own interests. The level of calculation involved is absolutely sickening. But perhaps the most cruel aspect of this betrayal is how Samantha continued to participate in public displays of affection and marital happiness while already knowing she was planning to destroy their relationship. The psychological manipulation required for such deception is genuinely disturbing. The timeline of events shows that even as recently as last week, Samantha was posting loving messages about their relationship on social media while simultaneously meeting with divorce attorneys and discussing settlement strategies. The duplicity is absolutely nauseating. Here's another question for the psychology experts: what does it say about someone's character when they can publicly profess love while privately planning to destroy the person they're supposed to be committed to? The most infuriating discovery is that people close to Samantha apparently knew about her deceptive behavior but chose to keep silent while watching Ricochet continue to trust and support someone who was actively betraying him. The conspiracy of silence enabled the abuse to continue. The testimonies from mutual friends reveal that Samantha had been dropping hints about her true intentions for weeks, but nobody had the courage or decency to warn Ricochet about what his wife was planning. The failure of their social circle to protect him from this betrayal is almost as disgusting as the betrayal itself. But the most shocking evidence comes from recorded conversations where Samantha can be heard discussing her plans with confidants, showing a level of cold calculation and emotional detachment that makes her public persona of loving wife seem like an award-worthy performance. The audio recordings reveal someone who viewed her marriage not as a loving partnership but as a business arrangement that she could manipulate for maximum personal benefit. The complete absence of genuine emotion or remorse is absolutely chilling. The investigation has also revealed that Samantha's betrayal wasn't limited to personal deception. She had been using her position as Ricochet's wife to gather information about his career plans, financial situation, and business relationships that she planned to use in the divorce proceedings. Here's a question about trust and privacy. How can anyone ever feel safe sharing intimate details about their life and career when their own spouse might be gathering intelligence to use against them? The most heartbreaking aspect of this situation is how it has affected Ricochet's ability to trust anyone in his personal or professional life. Sources report that he's questioning every relationship and wondering who else might have been aware of his wife's deception without warning him. The psychological trauma of discovering that your spouse has been living a lie extends far beyond just the end of a marriage. It fundamentally alters someone's ability to trust their own judgment and form meaningful relationships in the future. The damage Samantha has inflicted may take years to heal. But perhaps the most disgusting detail is how Samantha has been attempting to control the narrative since the divorce filing became public. Instead of taking responsibility for her actions, she's been trying to portray herself as the victim and suggesting that Ricochet somehow drove her to this betrayal. The victim blaming and gaslighting attempts are absolutely sickening. Even after being caught in an elaborate web of deception and betrayal, she's still trying to manipulate public opinion and avoid accountability for the destruction she's caused. The legal strategy she's employing shows a continued pattern of manipulation and deception. Her attorneys are apparently trying to argue that her secretive behavior was somehow justified by undisclosed marital problems that nobody else has ever witnessed or reported. Here's a question for the legal experts. How often do you see defendants try to justify systematic deception and betrayal by claiming their victims somehow deserve to be lied to? The most infuriating aspect of Samantha's response is how she's trying to use her position in WWE to gain sympathy and support from fans who don't know the full truth about what she did to destroy her marriage. The manipulation of public sentiment is just another layer of deception. The investigation into her public relations strategy reveals a calculated campaign to minimize the damage to her reputation while maximizing the criticism directed at Ricochet. Even in divorce, she's still trying to manipulate and control the narrative. But the evidence against her is so overwhelming that her attempts at reputation management are failing spectacularly. The facts speak for themselves, and no amount of spin can change what she actually did to betray her husband's trust. The impact on both of their careers is going to be significant, but the difference is that Ricochet is the innocent victim in this situation while Samantha is the one who chose to destroy their relationship through her own actions. The professional consequences she faces are entirely self-inflicted. Here's a final question for the WWE Universe. How do you think this divorce will affect both Ricochet's and Samantha Irvin's positions within WWE, and should someone's personal betrayals impact their professional opportunities? The most tragic aspect of this entire situation is that it didn't have to happen. If Samantha had been honest about her feelings or concerns, they could have worked through their problems or ended their marriage amicably instead of through this devastating betrayal. The choice to live a lie, to deceive someone who loved and trusted her, and to systematically plan the destruction of their marriage while pretending everything was fine shows a level of character deficiency that makes her unworthy of sympathy or support. The wrestling community is watching how this situation unfolds, and the early reactions suggest that fans and colleagues alike are struggling to reconcile the public persona Samantha maintained with the private reality of what she was actually doing to her husband. The long-term impact on trust and relationships within the wrestling community could be significant. When someone who seemed so genuine and loving is revealed to be capable of such elaborate deception, it makes everyone question what they really know about the people around them. But perhaps the most important lesson from this disaster is that public personas mean nothing when it comes to private character. Someone can be charming, professional, and beloved by fans while simultaneously being capable of devastating betrayal in their personal relationships. Ricochet deserves support and sympathy as he deals with the emotional trauma of this betrayal, while Samantha Irvin deserves to face the consequences of her choices without being able to manipulate public opinion or avoid accountability for the destruction she's caused. The divorce filing marks the end of what many considered one of wrestling's most beautiful love stories, but it also exposes the reality that some relationships are built on lies from people who are incapable of genuine love and commitment.